Aquarius. Hi. We're going to do a general love reading today. Because it's a general reading, it may not resonate for everyone. If it does resonate for you, I will be doing an extended, and the information for that is in the box below as to how you connect with that. Also, I am once again open for personal readings, and the information for that is also in the box below. All right, I'm using the Llewellyn deck today, and I'm doing a Celtic cross layout. All right, I like the Celtic cross layout for love readings. Now this is a general love reading, so therefore it may not be romantic love, but in some way or another it's about love and passion in your life. Okay, we've got the Ace of Cups showing up already. Awesome. All right, I'm just going to move these over a bit because I'm going to run out of room over there. I always do this. I seem to be pulled over to that direction. I wonder what that means. Anyway, yeah. And just a heads up around, the male and female or masculine, feminine cards in the deck. They refer to the divine energies which are in all of us and not to the genders. Okay, so the genders are interchangeable. All right, here we go. Aquarius. All right, this is the card from the universe guiding, and we've got the Knight of Wands. So you are definitely being activated. This is a guide. This isn't actually in your reading yet. This is guiding you to, really begin to go after and start putting action into going onto your new path, onto the next stage of your life, right? Yeah, I mean, that's really cool. And then you've got the Knight of Pentacles in the immediate past. So it looks like an opportunity here for you. Now it's a form of, it's an offer. And I think it's an offer for you in terms of being able to spend some time on your own, kind of getting in touch with what's important to you, okay? And what you believe in and where, who you are and that kind of stuff. So I think there's like an offer here. It could even be, like a self-help book or something like that, like a course you might take to get that clarity, to line up your values and things. Because it's really important. I've got the Three of Pentacles that I've drawn on the Knight of Pentacles. So taking the time, as I said, and I'm seeing this a lot lately in readings, and you've got the Eight of Pentacles on you as well. So doing that kind of research internally, because above you right now, there's a lot of decisions and things like that I see you kind of attempting to make in the next while. And it can create an overwhelming amount of anxiety and inner turbulence. And so the more that you kind of attack it, the more that you move into this time and with kind of this, and taking advantage of this offer and this opportunity, rather than just, depending on, your own energies that you have, because it could drive you kind of crazy. Like doing, I'm just going to draw a card on that for clarifying, because you are moving on to the next path in your life, which is what I suspected with the Nine of Wands showing up. So you've got the Ace of Wands energy over you, but you also have a lot of anxiety around this, because new things, kind of sorting through a lot of old residue and, old kind of situations that you got yourself into and things like that. So you're kind of hanging on to those a bit as you're doing this kind of processing, and we'll see where that leads, okay? Because this could be part of your research, because you've got the Eight of Pentacles on you. Now normally I would say stay away from the Nine of Swords. Don't do that much processing and thinking. It can kind of be a dark place to go, but in this case, because of this opportunity being offered to you, so maybe doing that, but maybe with the help of a therapist, or like I say, maybe a book that you trust, or another person that you trust, doing that kind of research in yourself. And so in that case, because it's leading to that, I can see it working. because you've got the Hierophant on you. So it looks like it's a time for commitment for you, and committing to something, that really feels truthful for you. You have a lot of integrity, Aquarius, and it's important that you honor that. And so doing this kind of base work to prepare for this commitment to what your truth may be seems really important right now, okay? You've got the Emperor at the base, so I'm just gonna, and then you've got the Six of Cups showing up. So I think that what you're where you're moving towards, because this is at your base, I think that the higher truth that you're moving towards, that you will commit to, is kind of something that traditional, something from your past, maybe your culture, maybe your family traditions that have been passed down. So I just feel like there's something there that you were you were raised with, you were kind of brought up with, in whatever culture that you grew up in. But I kind of feel like that came from a very benevolent place. It felt authoritative at the time, but I kind of feel like it was a very benevolent place and had some solidity to it, and was kind of, set up in a way that, made you feel cared about and thought about, and, kind of, like protected. That's the word I'm trying to think of, protected. And so I kind of feel like this is at your base, and so moving into your higher truth and taking these things into consideration, because this is a base for you, like I said, where you grew up, your culture, the belief systems that were there. I kind of feel like they are playing a role in that. So as you're doing this research, this inner research, with some help, as I say, from maybe, some form of guidance, really processing a lot and going back to a time when you were little and you were a child, and what, how you were brought up and what the values were there. And then you've got the Ace of Cups and the Queen of Wands showing up in your future. So in your near future. So and the Hangman and the Five of Swords. So what I feel like is happening here is you're on the verge of moving entirely and committing to living your path, which is the Queen of Wands showing up here, and being able to kind of chart your future and where you're going to be going in what direction based on that, okay? So this is really important work on you right now. And it's coming from a very, abundance of spiritual energy and heart energy that's just kind of like ready to be poured out into the next part of your life, into the world, okay? Which is the Hierophant. So to what is right for you and on your new path. So being able to chart it with this kind of knowledge will help alter your perspective as how, because maybe you've forgotten a lot of this, I don't know, but it just feels like there's a different perspective coming through based on, what you're going to discover doing this work here around your past and stuff. And that way, I think that, I don't know, maybe you've tried to divorce yourself from your past and it created a lot of inner conflict. Now, when I say your past, I'm going all the way back to your childhood, okay? And back even further than that to your culture and your, the traditions or whatever. So it created a lot of conflict, and at this point, it's time to put that conflict to rest. Like, I knew somebody once that was kind of brought up, and they were brought up in, Catholic church and all that kind of stuff. And so therefore they kind of, really hated it. They felt oppressed and stuff. And so they decided to not have any spirituality or any religion in their life. So they cut it off, and therefore they cut off their connection to their childhood, to, their culture that they were brought up in, and all of that, out of a defensive move. And that's understandable at a certain stage of life. But what I feel like here is that your perspective now has to kind of be put more into, a balance, because you're charting this new path for yourself as being on, the Queen of Wands, which is male or female, and being on your path, being led by, kind of, your heart and your, spiritual kind of, your spiritual energy, just pulling you in the world, and therefore not resisting, right? Not holding it back, not resisting, because it's really ready and it's overflowing and it's time. You've got the Queen of Cups here in your subconscious along with the Four of Cups. So kind of seeing yourself, as I said, the Hangman is kind of flipping for an Aquarius to be able to see themselves as a very strong feminine nurturer and a healer, right? And I don't know if that you've ever seen yourself that way, because you're quite adventurous, and I know you're a humanitarian, and you've always been there for the rights of people and animals or this world or whatever. But the Queen of Cups is a little bit different. It's a little bit more based on emotions than actions, and I think that's where you're moving more towards now. This is your new path. Like I said, it's something from your childhood, so something that you maybe wanted to, when you were a child, this is what I wanted to do, or something like that. And is now you're being reminded of it, or it's coming back as you're doing this inner research. In a position of what's in your universe, in your environment, is the High Priestess, which is like, once again, it's when going back over your own history and your own development, looking at it from an intuitive place and not a critical place. Okay, that's very important, because if you're looking at it from an intuitive place, you're not going to block it out because there's no defenses, right? And because you're trusting that there's a kind of soft flow going on there. Whereas if it's a critical place, then you're judging and you're closing things off. So at this place in time, with assistance, as I said, I see you doing that kind of work. And in a position of what you want is the Nine of Wands, and that's your hopes and desires. You have, you've come a long ways to be who you are today, and it's amazing. We've got the Wounded Warrior here, so you have been through a lot. And at this place, you're kind of looking for home again, and where am I going to build with this new development and growth and all the stuff that I've accumulated up to date. And so I'm feeling a bit lost and a bit wounded where to take that. And that's where I'm saying you're going to be able to find by doing this work. Then we've got the Magician in the Outcome, which is this transformation card. So if this does resonate for you, what I want to do in the extended reading is really take a look at where this Magician is going, where this transformation is taking you, and where this Ace of Cups and this new kind of creation that intuitively, with the High Priestess, you're going to be manifesting. And what does that look like? And where will you be building with all this growth that you've accumulated till now? So I'm going to just close it off now with an oracle from the Wisdom of Avalon, and it's called Truth. Aha. And that's what we're talking about here, is not blocking it out, not judging it, not being critical, but being intuitively guided into, as I say, your past and your childhood and your culture and the things that, had an impact on you. Searching for the truth of who you are, because it's a combination of all those things, okay? And then we'll look at the transformation in the extended reading. All right, Aquarius, I hope this was helpful for you, and if it does resonate, I hope to see you in the extended. If not, I'll see you next week.